Welcome back to Ash's Reality Recaps. This is the thrilling season finale of The Curse of Oak Island. After 25 episodes in season 11, I can finally say it's over for this year. Thankfully. Well, we enjoy it, right? I wouldn't watch it week after week if I didn't enjoy some part of it. So it is entertaining, but good Lord Almighty, I wish they would stop just regurgitating everything every episode for 55 minutes and giving us 5 minutes of actual content, which is even questionable in itself. But anyhow, the thrilling season finale of The Curse of Oak Island is finally here. Let's jump into it. There's not much to talk about, in all honesty. So let's just go ahead and get through it and get it over with. Here we go. First and foremost, the arrowhead that was originally thought to be a crossbow arrowhead and then later determined to be a Viking arrowhead has been run through the science machine and confirmed to be, you guessed it, an arrowhead. Let's move on. There's really not much to talk about that. All right, over at the Money Pit, the team has marked its umpteenth, hundredth X marks the spot location to do some core drilling. Everything before this has basically been fruitless. But hey, what do you know? Do you think on the season finale anything will be different? Absolutely not. They do their core drill, they find some sand, and then they speculate, well, the water had to come from a flood tunnel then because sand's not going to flood a tunnel. They're still stuck on this flood tunnel bit. I'm not buying it. It's an island. There's so many caves under this island. They're probably all full of water at this point. You tap into one, you're going to flood a shaft. So, yeah, moving on. That's all we got to talk about on that one. Now, over to the actual exciting part of this season, which is the true archaeological dig of the foundation on Lot 5. And last week, the team found a small lead, what they called a weight, right? So this week during the dig, they found two more of these lead objects that they're referring to as weights. They weighed them. They're right around 0.69. Of course, the speculation immediately goes to, well, they're weights. What did they weigh? Oh, they weighed gold. They weighed treasure. But when you go back and look at the potential time frame, again, we know the military was on Oak Island at some point, and you look at the time frame. On my one side, you can see here the lead objects they found on the island. On the other side, here are some lead objects that are lead bullets from during the same time period. So the stretch that these are lead weights and not lead bullets is kind of far-fetched. To me, I might not be accurate, but they look more like lead shot, as these ones do on this side, than they do lead weights. It would just make more sense. Obviously, if you're going to have lead shot, you're going to want a similar weight so that they fit into your barrel and they fire accurately. To me, they look like shots. They don't look like weights. But hey, that's Lot 5. Again, the most exciting part of the season is on Lot 5, where they're actually doing archaeological digging and trying to find what's going on this section. Unlike the boulder last week, where they waded knee-deep in, jammed their arm in, and found a rock and said, this is, awesome. I don't get it. It's part of the season. I get it. I mean, this was just an entire filler episode. It was, again, the season finale. It was a season finale of filler, recapping everything that happened this season. And as with the end of every season, the most original filmed content that they give us on Oak Island is the last 15 minutes of the season finale, where the entire team sits around a table and discusses if they're going to come back next year and what their plans are going to be. Now, every year past, they've made a vote if they were going to come back next year. This year, there was no vote. There's just obvious, confirmation that they're coming back next year. Because, in my opinion, the Money Pit is the show that they're making off of all the viewers and the History Channel to film and produce this. It's got to be coming from somewhere, because at some point their funds have got to run out, right? I mean, this has got to be a very expensive filmed production, so money's coming from somewhere. But anyhow, I digress. The best 15 minutes of the show is the last 15 minutes where they sit around the table and talk about next year. Now, they print out this really beautiful map of the Money Pit area and the garden shaft, and then the team takes turns putting down small circles that represent caissons that they're going to dig next year, and hopefully to get lucky and hit the treasure. One of the Lagina brothers talks about wiping out half of the hill behind the garden shaft, that they can go ahead and do some more core drilling on that side of it. But again, at this point, it's just become a crapshoot on, what can they find next year. We've gone through 11 seasons, 25 episodes this season, found very little true treasure that warrants any historical value as of being a treasure. Plenty of artifacts that, again, confirm that the Vikings were on the island and that the military was on the island. But outside of that, just pretty far-fetched that anything actually exists on the island. And if it is or has, it's probably still not there. But that is the thrilling season finale of The Curse of Oak Island. Thanks for sticking through all of our recaps this year. Hopefully you enjoyed them, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Stay tuned.